In a town much like your own, there lived a man named Aaron. Aaron was an ordinary man with ordinary dreams. He worked as a carpenter, making enough to get by, but never more than that. Every day he would wake up early, head to his workshop and spend hours crafting furniture for the townspeople. His life was simple, but it was not without its challenges. Aaron had always been a hard worker, but no matter how hard he tried, he never seemed to get ahead. He would see others around him getting promotions, buying new homes, and living lives filled with luxury. Aaron, on the other hand, continued to struggle, barely making ends meet. This constant comparison began to wear on him, and negative thoughts started to sneak into his mind. Why can't I be successful like them? He would think to himself, am I not good enough? What if I never make it? These thoughts began to consume him, and he found it harder and harder to focus on his work. He started to doubt himself and his abilities. The joy he once found in crafting beautiful furniture began to fade, replaced by frustration and self-doubt. One evening, after a particularly hard day, Aaron sat on the steps of his workshop, staring at the sunset. The colors in the sky were beautiful, but he couldn't bring himself to appreciate them. His mind was filled with worry. As he sat there, an old man walked by and noticed Aaron's troubled expression. "Good evening," the old man said, smiling warmly. "You seem lost in thought. Is everything all right?" Aaron looked up and forced a smile. "I'm fine," he replied, though his voice lacked conviction. The old man was not convinced. He had seen that look many times before and knew it well. It was the look of someone struggling with their own mind. "You know," the old man began, "the thoughts we entertain in our minds have a way of shaping our reality. A troubled mind can create a troubled life." Aaron was taken aback by the old man's words. It was as if he had read his thoughts. "What do you mean?" Aaron asked with curiosity. The old man sat down beside Aaron. "Let me tell you a story," he said, and Aaron, eager for a distraction from his own thoughts, listened intently. "Many years ago," the old man began, "there was a powerful king who ruled over a vast kingdom. The king was wise and just, and his people loved him dearly. But despite his power and wealth, the king was troubled. You see, the king had no children, and he worried about who would take over the throne after he was gone. He wanted to find someone worthy, someone with a pure heart and a strong mind to be his successor. One day, the king decided to hold a competition. He sent out a proclamation to every corner of the kingdom, inviting all who were interested to come to the palace. The competition, he declared, would be a test of character, a challenge to see who could resist the temptations of the mind. Hundreds of people from all walks of life came to the palace, eager to prove themselves. Among them was a young man named Leo. Leo was a humble farmer who had always lived a simple life. He had heard of the competition and thought it might be his chance to change his life. Though he had no grand ambitions, the idea of helping others and leading the kingdom with kindness appealed to him. The day of the competition arrived, and the king gathered all the participants in the grand hall of the palace. He addressed them with a voice that commanded attention. "This challenge," the king said, "will not test your strength or your intelligence. Instead, it will test your mind. You will each be given a task, and how you complete it will determine your worthiness. Remember, your thoughts will be your greatest ally or your worst enemy." The participants were interested but nervous. They didn't know what to expect. Leo, however, felt a sense of calm. He believed in the goodness of his heart and was ready to face whatever challenge the king had prepared. The first task was announced. Each participant was to climb the highest mountain in the kingdom and bring back a rare flower that grew only at its peak. It was a difficult journey, and many began to worry if they would be able to make it. Negative thoughts started to spread among them like wildfire. "I'll never make it to the top," one man said, his voice filled with doubt. "The mountain is too steep," another added. "It's impossible." Leo listened to their words, but did not let them affect him. Instead, he focused on the task ahead. He knew the climb would be tough, but he also knew that if he let fear and doubt control him, he would never succeed. So, with determination in his heart, he set off towards the mountain. The climb was indeed difficult. The path was rocky, and the air grew thinner as Leo ascended. With each step, his muscles ached, and his breath became labored. The higher he climbed, the colder it became, and soon he was battling not only the terrain but also the biting cold. As he climbed, Leo began to notice something strange. The thoughts of doubt and fear that the other participants had voiced earlier started to echo in his own mind. "What if I fall?" the thought whispered. "What if I can't make it to the top? Why am I even trying? I'm just a simple farmer. I don't belong here." For a moment, Leo felt his resolve waver. The negative thoughts were like a weight, pulling him down, making each step more difficult than the last. But then he remembered the king's words. "Your thoughts will be your greatest ally or your worst enemy." Leo stopped for a moment, closed his eyes, and took a deep breath. He knew he had to silence the negative voices in his mind if he wanted to succeed. He focused on the positive, on the beauty of the mountain, the fresh air, and the fact that he had made it this far. He reminded himself of why he was climbing the mountain in the first place, not for glory or wealth, but to prove that a kind and pure heart could overcome any challenge. With renewed determination, Leo continued his climb. Each time a negative thought tried to creep into his mind, he countered it with a positive one. "I can do this," he told himself. "I am strong. I am capable. I will reach the top." And so, step by step, Leo made his way up the mountain. The climb was long and arduous, but Leo's positive thoughts gave him the strength to keep going. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he reached the peak. There, among the rocks and snow, he found the rare flower that the king had spoken of. It was a beautiful, delicate bloom, a symbol of Leo's victory over his own mind. With the flower in hand, Leo began his descent. The journey down was much easier, and Leo felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. He had faced his fears and doubts, and he had won. When he returned to the palace, the king was waiting for him. The king looked at Leo with a knowing smile. "You have done well," the king said. "But the competition is not over yet. There is one final task." Leo was surprised, but ready. He had come this far, and he was determined to see the competition through to the end. The king led Leo to a large dark room in the palace. In the center of the room was a table with 3 boxes on it. The king gestured for Leo to approach the table. "Inside one of these boxes is a treasure," the king explained. "The other 2 boxes are empty. You may choose only one box, and you must make your decision carefully." Leo studied the boxes. They all looked identical, and there was no way to tell which one held the treasure. Doubt started to creep into his mind once again. "What if I choose the wrong box?" Leo thought. "What if I lose everything I've worked for?" But then he remembered the lesson he had learned on the mountain. He knew that letting negative thoughts control his actions would only lead to failure. Instead of focusing on the possibility of choosing the wrong box, Leo chose to focus on the positive. He told himself that, no matter what happened, he had done his best. He had faced his fears and overcome them. He had nothing to lose. With a clear mind and a calm heart, Leo made his choice. He reached out and selected the box in the middle. He lifted the lid and looked inside. To his amazement, the box was filled with gold coins and jewels. The king smiled warmly. "You have chosen wisely," he said, "but it is not the treasure that is important. What matters is how you made your decision. You did not let fear or doubt control you. You trusted yourself and your ability to make the right choice. That is the true treasure." Leo's heart swelled with pride, but he remained humble. He knew that the true victory was not the treasure, but the lesson he had learned about the power of his own thoughts. The king stood before Leo and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Leo," he said, "you've shown great wisdom and strength of character. You've stayed true to your values even when faced with difficult choices. I believe you are the one I have been searching for. You are the one who will take my place as the ruler of this kingdom." Leo was stunned. He had never imagined that he, a simple farmer, would one day be chosen to rule a kingdom. But the king's words filled him with confidence. He knew that he was ready for the responsibility. He had faced his own doubts and fears, and he had won. As the king placed the crown on Leo's head, the people of the kingdom cheered. They had watched the competition unfold, and they had seen Leo's strength of character. They knew that he would be a wise and just ruler. Under Leo's rule, the kingdom flourished. He governed with kindness and wisdom, always remembering the lessons he had learned. He taught his people the importance of positive thinking and how to overcome the challenges of the mind. The kingdom became a place of peace and prosperity, and Leo was loved by all. The old man finished his story and looked at Aaron. Aaron sat in silence, thinking about the story and how it related to his own life. He realized that, like Leo, he had been letting negative thoughts control his actions. He had been doubting himself and his abilities, allowing fear to dictate his decisions. The old man's voice broke the silence. "Aaron, the thoughts you entertain in your mind will shape your reality. If you focus on the negative, that's what your life will become. But if you choose to focus on the positive, you can overcome any challenge that comes your way. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool. Use it wisely." Aaron nodded, feeling a sense of clarity and purpose. He knew he had to change the way he thought about himself and his life. He had to stop comparing himself to others and start focusing on his own strengths. He had to believe in himself and his ability to create a better future. The old man stood up and placed a hand on Aaron's shoulder. "You have the power to change your life," he said. "It all starts with your thoughts." With those words, the old man walked away, leaving Aaron to ponder the story and its message. Aaron knew that it wouldn't be easy to change his way of thinking, but he was determined to try. He would no longer let negative thoughts control him. Instead, he would focus on the positive, just like Leo. The next day, Aaron woke up with a new sense of purpose. As he walked to his workshop, he repeated positive affirmations in his mind. "I am capable. I am strong. I will succeed." He could feel a change within himself, a lightness that had not been there before. Aaron started his day's work with a smile on his face. He focused on each task, not allowing any negative thoughts to distract him. Whenever doubt tried to creep into his mind, he countered it with positivity. As the days went by, Aaron noticed a difference in his work. His craftsmanship improved, and he started to take pride in what he created. Customers began to notice the change as well, and soon word spread about the skilled carpenter who made beautiful, high-quality furniture. Before long, Aaron's business began to thrive. He was busier than ever, but instead of feeling overwhelmed, he felt energized. He was no longer burdened by negative thoughts. He had learned to control his mind, to focus on the positive, and to trust in his own abilities. And so, just like Leo, Aaron became the ruler of his own mind, guiding his life with positivity and purpose. And that, he realized, was the greatest victory of all. The story of Aaron and Leo teaches us that our thoughts are incredibly powerful. They can shape our reality, influence our decisions, and determine our success. By learning to control our thoughts and focus on the positive, we can overcome challenges, achieve our goals, and create the life we want. Remember, the next time you find yourself overwhelmed by negative thoughts, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself if those thoughts are helping or hurting you. If they're holding you back, make the conscious choice to replace them with positive ones. It won't always be easy, but with practice you can train your mind to work for you, not against you. Just like Aaron, you have the power to change your life. It all starts with your thoughts. So be mindful of what you think and choose to focus on the positive. In doing so, you'll discover that the power to create the life you want has been within you all along. And with that, we come to the end of our story. If you found this story helpful and inspiring, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more content that helps you navigate the journey of life with positivity and purpose. Thank you for watching, and remember, you have the power to fight negative thoughts and win.